What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is the day that I've been waiting for, and I know a lot of you have been waiting for. Yes, we're back working on the S13. So today, we're going to be picking up where we left off. And if you forgot, last time I was working on this car, I tried to install the carpet. I cut it to the point where I wasn't happy with it. I sold that carpet, got a new carpet. Let me show you. So we got a couple things we're working on today. For one, like I said, new carpet. This is from stockinteriors.com. The box says Auto Custom Carpet Inc. All the same thing. And this time I did order some floor mats as well. We just got the basic black floor mats. That's what I want in this car. And then the last little bit of sound deadening to put in the trunk and on the wheel arches so we can be done with the sound deadening in this car and make sure it is as quiet as possible. Once we get the carpet in, we're gonna be putting the dash in. And if you forgot what the carpet looks like, I've got it unboxed back here already, but super nice black carpet. Loved how this looked in the car. I'd put the other one in there obviously as I was fitting it and realized that I had cut it kind of wrong. It looks fantastic in the car, so much to the point where I'm actually thinking about doing the same carpet in the S14. Let me know what you think. Should I do a new carpet in here or the OEM carpet that I have over here? And inside the car, here's what it looks like. We've got our sound dampening material all throughout the floor pan of the car, and then a second layer of actual sound blocking material, which I believe is called a mass load vinyl, in the footwells of both sides of the car. So we're gonna go ahead and put the carpet on top of this, and I cannot wait to start putting this interior back together. Now, what I had done last time that worked well for part of the process was I laid this OEM carpet over the new carpet and used it to cut the transmission tunnel and used it to cut the holes for the seats. Now, where I went wrong was cutting the holes for the seats. For whatever reason, they did not line up at all. Even though I put this carpet in the car and they lined up, somehow when I was essentially transferring the holes to this carpet, it just didn't line up perfectly. So my plan of attack, and what I would suggest if you have your old carpet, is use that to cut the transmission tunnel holes. That stuff all lined up perfectly. I used it to trim the top edge to make that perfect. But from there, we're gonna go ahead and put it in the car and start working on the rest of the seat holes and the edges in the car. That way we can see exactly where they need to go. And I've got a new technique that I'm gonna show you when we get there to actually cut those holes out and make sure they're perfect and look super clean so you'll never see them once the seats are installed. Got the carpet laid over, made sure to get everything centered up. So what I was talking about is these are gonna be the spots that we're actually using the old carpet as a template for. Everything else we're gonna do in the car. Seat holes, there's no seatbelt holes in the S13, so we don't need to use those off the S14, but these holes up here, this spot for the accelerator pedal stop, we're gonna do all of that in the car. So the only thing we're using the old carpet for is the stuff down the transmission tunnel and this top line up here. So if you're doing this at home, that's what I'd suggest doing. After messing up one carpet, that's what I found works the best. So I'm gonna go ahead and very carefully work my way along here and get these cut out nice and cleanly. It's been a little while since I picked up the camera, but I've spent the last couple hours just getting some of the fine details up under the dash all dialed in, like the dead pedal over here and the accelerator stop behind there. So just making sure those holes were perfectly lined up, but I cannot get over how good this carpet is looking. This is absolutely insane. And whoever recommended that I use a heated up socket or hole punch to make the holes for the dead pedal and the seats, I could kiss you right now, because this turned out So beautiful in here, went in so perfectly. It's gonna work great for the seat holes, but I'm thinking the next thing I wanna do is get the dash in and get the center console in, because it's just one more thing holding this carpet in to make sure those holes are exactly where they need to be. But before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the stock steering wheel because we are not gonna be using that, and it's gonna make the dash easier to put in. All right, major progress update for you guys. We've got the dash completely in the car, bolted in, center console's in the car, everything around the steering wheel is in. We've got the gauge cluster and all the surrounding trim back in the car. It is really starting to come together. I was looking at getting the glove box in and realized that I either can't find or didn't get the latch for up here. So I'm gonna wait to put the glove box in until we have that, so it's not just hanging there in my way. But oh my God. Seeing this together is just absolutely insane. I've said it all along, but this thing is just an absolute time capsule. Like, to see plastics that are 33 years old at this point looking this clean, it's unheard of. It's absolutely unheard of. I need to get the seat holes cut out, and what I found was I used a poker to locate the hole, put a paint pen in the center of it. That way I could center the heated up socket or punch onto it and actually punch out the hole. If that doesn't make sense, just wait. I'll show you guys as I'm doing it. And then I want to get the seat holes put in so I can put the seat rails in just to hold the carpet in place. And then we'll do the final cut along the edge here to get that all done and put the door sill on. Fortunately for me, the previous owner was incredibly meticulous, saved all the plastics off the old carpet. And if you can tell, he actually marked it so this says passenger 3. These are the pieces that go along the edge here on the carpet. So I got a stapler that we're gonna use to attach this. I'm just waiting on the staples to show up. They should be here any moment. I got them same day delivered from Amazon. And what we're gonna have to do is go along here and cut this a little bit back so that it gets close to that edge. And then we'll staple this piece on and the door sills go on over it. So while I wait for those, we're gonna finish up on the sound deadening in the back of the car. Now there's a couple more areas that I wanted to put this sound dampening material. One of the areas is these wheel arches. I need to do that on both sides, as well as some area in the trunk. Let me show you. So back here, the last area that we need to do is in the spare tire well. And if I pull out the sound blocking material, you can see I ran out as I was doing the spare tire well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the spare tire well done, get that sound blocking material actually glued in there, do the wheel arches, and then by the time I'm done with that, I'm hoping that the staples have showed up for the staple gun so we can actually work on getting the carpet secured along the edge and have this thing looking much more complete. Spare tire well is complete. We've got awesome coverage back there. I'm super happy how that turned out. I'm still missing the plug that goes here, so I'm gonna order one of those. So in the meantime, I'm not gonna glue the sound blocking material in, but I'll set it back in there, and then we can jump up and start working on those arches. And that's what it'll look like all glued in there. And then I've got this sweet reproduction spare tire well from Fitment Automotive in Australia. This stuff is, these things are super cool. I've talked to them quite a bit. And just love the OEM touch of something like this in the car. So that thing fits in there just like that, just like the factory one should, but looks brand new. arch all wrapped up. Looks super clean. I was definitely able to get it a little bit cleaner than I did on the other side, just based on knowing how that side went. Not that this side looks bad at all, but just was able to do this much quicker. So that's gonna wrap up the sound deadening portion of the car. And I am super glad to have that done, and I can't wait to see how the car sounds with all the sound deadening and sound blocking material in here. Actually, that's a lie. We do have more. There's gonna be like a lighter type of foam that goes into the quarter panels here, into the doors. So we are gonna do a little bit more sound deadening, but not in this video. All right, I switched over to the GoPro because my other camera battery died, but I am so stoked right now because I was looking up under the dash, just checking a few things out, and lo and behold, there was the glove box compartment latch. I would have been shocked if the previous owner had lost a single part to this car with how meticulous he was. I figured it had to be here somewhere and I just couldn't find it. Sure enough, tucked up under the dash, just hidden. So I pulled that down and we can actually put the glove box on, which is super exciting because that gets this side of the dash one step closer to being done, and I'm really excited to see what it looks like with the glove box on. Let me show you. So as you can see up there, got the latch attached, the light is in there, so we are good to put the glove box on. So as I was poking around the dash, I realized that he has actually already wired the stereo up. The harness that goes to the stereo just has these little quick disconnects on it, which is great. Got a double din head unit. Now in a lot of my other cars, I've done full stereos where I have an amp powering the sub. Actually all of my cars have a 4-channel amp powering the speakers and a single channel amp powering the sub. This car, I just want to keep it simple in the interior. I don't want to have RCA cables running all the way back and a sub in the back. That's just, you know, asking for trouble, and it's going to make that back area look cluttered. And realistically, this car is going to sound so good that I just want to enjoy the noises that it makes. So long story short, what I'm going to do is just have an aftermarket head unit, aftermarket speakers, and let the power from the deck power the speakers. It's not going to be as crazy as some of the other car sound systems that I have, but that's intentional. That's what I want for this car. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the head unit installed. That way we can get this center of the dash buttoned up, get this trim piece on, and have this really start looking like a complete dash. All right, so like I mentioned earlier, the last thing to get the carpet truly fitted into the car is getting this edge cut down here and fitted to these plastic trim pieces here. So what we're gonna need to do is get probably 2 to 3 inches cut off, and then we'll be attaching it to these plastic pieces. You can see where they were stapled on before. This clips over the rail and the door sill. The carpet will be stapled to it, so we've got about that much excess, and then that'll hold the carpet onto the rail and be sandwiched on top by this door sill here. Oh my God, that looks so good. That's giving you just a little preview of what's to come. This interior just looks, it's stupid clean. It's stupid clean. If you've ever seen an S13 interior this clean, comment down below and let me know, and pics or it didn't happen, because this is just absolutely nutty. But what I was looking at here is we're gonna obviously have to get this cut down here, and then this cut down over here, which is gonna involve getting these rear quarter panel pieces of trim on the car as well. So I don't really want to cut that side of the carpet until I start looking at where those quarter panel pieces need to go and make sure it all fits together and that I don't cut the carpet wrong again once we are this far along. So what I think I'm gonna do is wait until I can get the quarter panel pieces in the car, which involves getting the seat belts in the car. So it's a little more involved than what I want to do tonight, and I don't want to rush this process. So what I think I'm gonna do is tackle the last bit of carpet in a future video, get those last little trim pieces in, get the carpet fully secured. We'll get the holes cut for the carpet, but we're close and we've made a ton of progress. Let me give you just a look at everything we did in this video, because it's insane to see how far this car has come in the last couple days, and just how much more complete it looks with the interior in it. It is absolutely insane to me how clean this car is. It's so exciting to see it coming together. And like I said, just seeing some of those interior pieces in there, I'm starting to see the vision that much more. And once we have the interior in this car, we can really start rocking on getting the suspension all on the car, making it a rolling shell, and really start making some progress on this car. But I appreciate you guys being patient with me from having to wait to get the new carpet, not getting as far as I wanted to in this video. It's all part of the process, but this car is worth being patient with. I don't want to rush a single thing because this car has to be perfect. It just has to be.